Okay, so today we will start with a new chapter. That is I guess this is the second chapter in your routine. Sorry, your syllabus. Let me see. Yes, this is the second chapter in your syllabus. Okay, the circulation, heart, blood vessels, double circulation, composition of blood and lymph, all those are included. So, together it is known as the circulatory system. So, I have completed two chapters. So this is the third one. Before excretory production and elimination that is done, and breathing and exchange of gases that is done. So this is the new chapter, that is circulatory system. So excretory production and elimination, that meant excretory system. Then earlier was last was breathing and exchange of gases, that was respiratory system. Now this is circulatory system. Okay, the blood circulation. Okay, so this human circulatory system, it is also known as blood vascular system. Okay, it is the same thing, blood vascular system. As I have already told, like in circulatory system, circulation, what circulation happens? Blood circulates. Okay, so what to say? It is also known as blood vascular system, and like in the earlier what to say chapters, uh, first chapter was excretory system. In excretory system, what is the most important organ included in excretory system? The organ that is associated with excretory system, what is the organ? What is the organ? I have taught you like 100 times. What is the organ that is associated with human excretory system? The first chapter, what is the organ? Do you pay attention when something is being taught and when class goes on? Just do you pay attention? If you, and also I ask for if someone has any doubts every day at the end of the lecture. I always ask if you have any doubts. Just ask. I'll clear it out. Or you can ask the next day. Go home. At home, you could just go through and ask me in the next class. No, if you ask, I just I explain it. So when it is asked, so you need to answer. Okay, it is the kidney. Someone is messaging. You can also speak, right? I don't usually see the chat box. You can speak. You can unmute yourself and then speak. Anyways, okay, the excretory system, the most important organ is the kidney. What is for respiratory system? What is the most important organ for respiratory system?
Lungs.
Lungs. And for circulatory system, it is heart. Okay, don't forget that. For excretory system, it is kidney. For respiratory system, it is the lungs. And for circulatory system, it is the heart. Okay, human heart. So, okay, and the human circulatory system, it is also known as blood vascular system. And it consists of a heart. It consists of a heart, and there are blood vessels are there, and there are blood. Okay, in the human circulatory system, it consists of heart, blood vessels, and blood. Okay, now we will talk about the heart. Okay, last chapter I have discussed about thoracic cavity, right? The thoracic cavity, that is the space that is inside the ribs. The space that is inside the ribs is known as the thoracic cavity. So heart is, and we discussed that the lungs, sorry, so the lungs, they are situated inside the thoracic cavity, right? Human lungs, the two lungs, those are situated within the thoracic cavity, inside the thoracic cavity. So now the heart, it is also situated inside the thoracic cavity and inside the in between the lungs. There are two lungs on both sides. So the heart, it is situated in between the lungs and it is placed in the thoracic cavity. Both the lung and the heart, it is placed inside the thoracic cavity, and the heart, it is situated in between the two lungs. Okay, and all of you know that heart, it is a little bit to the left side, not to the right. It is a little bit to the situated to the left side. Okay. Okay, and one more. I have written this all point wise because so that you can understand it better. Okay, and the muscles of the heart, muscles. So there are different types of muscles. Okay, can you name some types of muscles? There are different types of muscles. Okay, there are different types of muscles in our body. So the muscles that are present in the heart is known as cardiac muscles. Okay, you might have heard of cardiac arrest. Cardiac arrest, you might have heard, that is of the heart. Okay, and the muscles of the heart, it is known as cardiac muscles. Okay, and it is written here clenched fist. What is clenched fist? Clenched fist means when you make a fist, when you like close your hand, when you make a fist, the size of your fist, it is the size of your heart. The size of your fist is the size of your heart. Okay, it will differ from person to person. So when you like close your hand, you make a fist, like when you are about to punch. So when you make that kind of a shape of your hand, that is when you make a fist, the shape of that fist is somewhat the shape of your uh, heart. Okay, and okay, this this thing you can see, this is known as the pericardium. Okay, this outer covering, this is known as the pericardium. Okay, and uh, this is double layered. This is two layered. Okay, this one and this one. So this is two layered and it is known as the pericardium, and it protects our heart from any damage. There are fluids inside the pericardium and it protects the heart. Okay, so this outer covering or the membrane, it is known as the pericardium, and it is double. It is double layer. Two layers are there. So this is known as the pericardium. And human heart, they are of four chambers. Okay, yeah, it also differs from uh, individual to individual. Human heart, it is four chambers. Four chambers means for some animals it is some animals have two chambered heart, some has three chambered heart. So it differs. Okay, for humans they have four chambered heart. Means they have two auricle or atrium. It is also known as auricle. Okay, auricle. Atrium or auricle. Atrium is a singular term, and atria, you can see where, yeah, this one. Atria is a plural term. Okay, two are there. That's why it is known as atria. Otherwise, it is known as atrium. Singular, it is known as atrium or auricle. It is also known as auricle. 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 Okay, so there are two auricles or two atriums, the left one and the right one, and there are two ventricles. This one, right ventricle, and the left ventricle. Okay, so human heart, it is divided into four chambers, that is left atrium, right atrium, and left ventricle, right ventricle. Okay, four chambers are there, and there are valves. Okay, in between the like left atrium and left ventricle, there is a valve known as mitral valve. Valve means this protects the what to say. It serves as a gate, like it does not allow movement of all the particles. Okay, or only at certain times is allow the movement. So this serves as a gate. Okay, this is like a gatekeeper. So in between these two chambers. So this valve, it is known as the mitral valve, that is present in between the left atrium and left ventricle. Just remember that the valve that is present between the left atrium and the left ventricle, it is the mitral valve. Okay, one thing I need to clear. See, you have taken admission in an English course. This is, and even if you go for science background, you will have to study all of this in English only. So you need to make the habit of studying in English, and because in your exam you will have to write everything in English. Assamese will not be permitted, and some faculties are there who does not know Assamese, and students are from all the areas, the northeast, Manipur, Mizoram, Arunachal, Meghalaya, all these people are also there. They don't understand Assamese. Okay, and the thing is that your course, this is in English medium, so it is not possible, and it is not advisable, and it is not in my thing to explain everything in Assamese. Okay, that will not be uh, good, and that I cannot do because there are people who are from English medium, and English medium means those who doesn't understand Assamese. So since the thing everything is in English, you have to make the habit of understanding in English, and you have to make the habit of writing in English. You can go through YouTube videos, you can go through dictionaries, and you can start to learn. Don't wait for the faculty will teach everything in Assamese and you will write in Assamese. You won't be able to write in Assamese. You will have to write in English only. Yes, if you say like this point, what is like one sentence if I say, and if you don't understand the meaning of that sentence, if you want me to translate that in Assamese, that is okay. But if you want me to explain everything, the whole chapter in English as well as Assamese, that is not possible. Also, I am from like I was from English background, English medium background, but my mother tongue is Assamese. I am from Assam, but since I have studied everything in English, it is a little bit difficult for me to even explain it in Assamese. I don't know this heart, lungs, those artery, vein. I don't know the Assamese term. The atrium, ventricle. I don't know the Assamese term because I have not studied in Assamese medium. Okay, so you just need to make the habit of understanding in Assamese. I can explain you in English, but no, I can explain you in Assamese. No worries, but although it will take time to explain in English as well as Assamese, it will take time, but I can do that, but it will not be helpful for you. Okay, it will not be helpful for you. You'll have to make the habit of understanding and learning and reading English because you have taken admission in a course that is English, that is in English medium, and everything is in English. You have to make the habit. I will not spoil your habit by discussing everything in Assamese. Okay, and those people that are from like tribal areas, those northeast other areas, if they also don't understand English and they understand Hindi, I'm not explaining in Hindi for them. Okay, I will not explain in Hindi for them. So that is the thing. Okay, you have to start and make the habit of understanding English, and you have to make an extra effort for that. Watch YouTube videos, watch movies without subtitles. Do that because otherwise these 2 years will be like in hell. Okay, you will get the faculties who does not speak Assamese or Hindi. They will teach in English only. Even I am not comfortable in like explaining in Assamese because I have not read in Assamese in my time also. I was in English medium background, so when it is difficult for me, so the people who are like from other parts of Northeast, so they will not be able to speak in Assamese and explain everything in Assamese. Okay, you should make the habit of like little bit. At least you don't have to speak fluently in English. Okay, at least understanding is required, and to write and understanding is required. So make the habit of reading books. If you don't like to read uh, this course books, you can go for novels and stuff like that. You can read all those very interesting stuff. You can read newspapers. You can look to movies, English movies without those subtitles and without the dubbing. Okay, you can watch English movies. You can do that, and you have to make an effort from your side. I can explain everything in Assamese. Yes, it will take me double time. I can explain it in Assamese. It will take me double time and effort also. Okay, I'll give the effort and just I'll explain it in Assamese. But if I do that, I'll spoil you, and I don't want to spoil you. Okay, that I said because someone is asking me to explain everything in Assamese. Okay, if you don't understand any point, you just can point it out and then ask me like explain this. Then I can explain in Assamese. But whole thing from beginning to end in Assamese. That is okay. Anyways, these valves they act as the doorkeeper, or it acts as the door, okay, of a room. So it it protects the like both the it divides the both the chambers. Okay, so the left and the left ventricle, in between the left and the right left atrium and the left ventricle is the mitral valve. Okay, and in between the right ventricle and the right atrium is the what is it? It is a tricuspid valve. Okay. So in between the right atrium and the right ventricle, it is the tricuspid valve. Okay. And in between the left atrium and the left ventricle, it is the mitral valve. Okay. Just remember the names. Okay. And what is there? Okay. And now comes about artery and vein. Do you know what is the function of artery and vein? Don't look at pulmonary, just the function of artery and vein. What is the function of artery and vein? What is the difference between artery and vein? Hmm? So, yesterday I taught about deoxygenated and oxygenated blood, right? Deoxygenated means impure blood, and oxygenated means pure blood. So, generally, the arteries they carry oxygenated blood, pure blood. Okay, arteries they generally carry pure blood, and veins they carry impure blood, that is deoxygenated blood. Normally in our body the arteries they carry, this is very important. Okay, in our body the arteries they carry oxygenated blood, that is pure blood, and the veins they carry deoxygenated blood, that is impure blood. But in the case of pulmonary artery and pulmonary vein, it is the opposite. Okay, pulmonary and artery and pulmonary vein, it is the opposite. Normal artery, it carries oxygenated blood, and normal vein, it carries deoxygenated blood. But in the case of pulmonary artery and pulmonary vein, it is opposite. It is the opposite. That is, pulmonary artery, it carries deoxygenated blood. Write it down. Write it down somewhere. So this pulmonary artery, it carries deoxygenated blood, and the pulmonary vein, they carry oxygenated blood. It is the opposite. Okay. Artery, they carry oxygenated blood, but pulmonary artery, they carry deoxygenated blood. Oxygenated means pure, deoxygenated means impure. Okay, veins they carry deoxygenated blood, but pulmonary vein they carry oxygenated blood. Okay, so what happens? This uh, what to say? Okay, the impure blood it goes out through this pulmonary artery. Okay, the impure blood, the deoxygenated blood, it goes out through this artery and it goes to the lungs. Okay, that capillaries we have discussed last class, right? The capillaries in the lungs. The capillaries in the lungs they carry deoxygenated blood, and from that deoxygenated blood, the oxygen was the carbon dioxide they diffuse inside the alveoli, and what to say oxygen they diffuse out of the alveoli into the blood, and the deoxygenated blood they is converted into oxygenated blood. Yesterday we discussed that. So that is what. So this deoxygenated blood is present here. They will go out of this pulmonary artery to the lungs. Okay, they will go to the lungs, and then the what to say the pure blood, the oxygenated blood from the lungs, they will come through this pulmonary vein and to the left atrium. Okay, the deoxygenated blood will go from the right ventricle to the lungs through the pulmonary artery, from the right ventricle to the lungs. Okay, through the pulmonary artery, and the oxygenated blood will come through the pulmonary vein from the lungs to the left atrium. Okay, so this is the thing, and this is known as the superior vena cava. This is the aorta. You just need to learn to draw this diagram. Okay, you need to learn to draw this diagram. This is this is important. It might be asked sometimes to draw the structure of human heart with labeled diagrams. You need to label it names, along with you have to draw it. Okay, so the last point is given here as our heart normally beats like 70 to 75 times a minute. Okay, in a minute our heart generally beats for like 70 to 75 times a minute. Okay, so that is that. So human heart, it is, I'll just what to say, repeat it once more. The human heart, it is situated inside the thoracic cavity and in between the lungs. Okay, and it is slightly shifted to the left side. Okay, and the muscles of the lungs, they are known as the cardiac muscles, and the size of the lungs is uh, the size of a human fist. Okay, and it is protected by the pericardium, that is a double layer, that is layered pericardium. Okay, the pericardium, it protects the heart, and human heart, it has four chambers, that is left atrium, left ventricle, right ventricle. Okay, and the left ventricle and right ventricle, in between them is the mitral valve, and uh, between the right atrium and the right ventricle is the tricuspid valve. If you look at the diagram, you will figure it out everything. Okay, and the pulmonary valve, or this pulmonary artery, they carry uh, what to say? They carry deoxygenated blood to the lungs, and the pulmonary vein, they carry oxygenated blood from the lungs. Okay, from the lungs. Oxygenated blood means pure blood, deoxygenated means impure blood. Okay, this is all about the heart. So, any doubts, you just can ask. Okay, next, if you
Ma-
have doubts, just ask. Yes.
Ma'am, ma'am, hypertrophy means কি?
Hypertrophy, তুমি ক'ত পাইছা hypertrophy?
মানে ma'am মই
Hmm? Hypertrophy মানে ক'ত পালা? Anyways, this is not included in the this chapter. Okay, hypertrophy is not required, but hypertrophy generally means the tumar cells bilak, cells or tissues, the cells they form tissues, right? You
Yes,
have you learned about the level of organization? The cells they will form tissues, tissues they will form organs, right? So what happens?
yes,
That cells or the tissues they will enlarge. Enlarge means they will bulge out. They will become big. Okay.
big.
Yes, they will become big, and the tissues they will means increase in the volume. They will their size will become big. Means they will enlargement will happen. Okay, means the size will become big. Those tissues and the cells of the certain organ, so that enlargement will happen, and that is known as hypertrophy of that organ. Okay,
Yes,
and
yes,
the
ma'am.
cells and the tissues, the size will become, size will increase. Ultimately, the size of the organ will increase, right? Because the organ is made up of the tissue and the cells. So when the size of the cells they will enlarge, when the cells and the tissue will enlarge, they will in turn enlarge the organ, and that is known as hypertrophy.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
এইটো মেম হাৰ্টৰ ভিতৰত হ'লে হাৰ্টত হাৰ্মফুল হ'ব নেকি?
Yeah, harmful হ'ব। হাৰ্টৰ ভিতৰত হ'লে harmful হ'ব। হাৰ্টৰ ভিতৰত বুলি কি নহয়, এইটো য'তে হ'লেও harmful হ'ব।
Yes, ma'am.
এইটো এবনৰ্মেল কণ্ডিশ্যন হয়, য'ত তোমাৰ একচুৱেলি এটা এটা টাৰ্ম আছে, মই পাহৰিছোঁ এতিয়া। হাৰ্টত যোনটো তোমাৰ হাইপাৰট্ৰফি যোনটো হয় হাৰ্টৰ, ত' সেই that is a disease is there. There is a term. I just I just forgot the term. I'll just let you know later on. I'll just go through Google and let you know. But I forgot the term.
Oh,
There is a term that mentions that disease, abnormal, the presence of that abnormal growth of the heart. There is a disease. So বেমাৰ হ'ব এনেকুৱা হ'লে। Okay.
yes, ma'am.
So is there any doubt you just can ask? Okay. So the circulatory system, it consists of heart, then blood vessels are there. Blood vessels will be there. If blood is there, then blood vessels will also be there. Blood vessels means what is blood vessels? Blood vessels. These things you need to ask, okay? Because for me, blood vessels means blood vessels. I will not think to explain what is blood vessels, but it might be needed for you guys. So, blood vessels, it means like what to say? The tubes, okay? Which
Carrier.
area? Area, no? It is like the tubes or like the vessels, the tubes which transport blood, okay? Or the it is distributed all over the body, okay? Like for example, uh, the veins, the arteries and veins, all these are also distributed all over the body, right? To like the blood, they needs to transport all over the body, right? For example, when the person is dead, you can see the person becomes pale, right? The person becomes pale, white. The normally the human body skin, it is little bit reddish in color, pinkish, not red. It is little bit pinkish in color. But when a person dies, it becomes pale white, and it becomes cold and pale white. Why it becomes cold and why it becomes pale white? Because the blood flows, it stops. Okay, and the blood is what keeps our body warm. Okay, the blood is what keeps our body warm, and the pinkish color is due to the blood. So how is that blood transported all over the body? Okay, blood is from the heart, or from the heart, how it is transported all over the body? Through these blood vessels. Okay, blood vessels are sort of tubes. Okay, you can just imagine it to be some sort of tube. Different sizes are there. There are tiny ones, there are a little bit big ones. So there are different types of tubes. So those are the blood vessels. Okay, there are network of close branching means there are like many. Okay, you can't count. There are many numerous blood vessels. That is known as the blood vessels. Okay, wherever there is blood, blood vessels need to be there because the blood needs to travel through some um, thing. No, where how will it travel? It is not like uh, what to say, made to move around freely. No, it transport takes place through the help of those tubes. Those are known as blood vessels. And so it consists of heart, blood vessels, and blood. So heart is done. Blood vessels, nothing to discuss because it is all those tubes and nerves and whatever that is present inside the body, and the blood. So we will look at the blood now. So
How many blood vessels are
how
there?
many? There are numerous blood
It
vessels.
consists
No, your voice is not audible. Your voice is not audible. See, there are arteries, veins, capillaries, all we have discussed right till now. Last class we have discussed about capillary, the capillary containing the deoxygenated blood, right? That capillary. Today we discussed about veins and arteries. All these are blood vessels.
means not the
Huh? Huh?
type of
Type.
blood
Type. You just text in the
vessel,
chat box. It's not clear. Your voice is not clear.
ma'am.
Yes. You just
Ma'am, type of blood
types.
vessels.
Types are arteries are there, veins are there, then capillaries are there. Three types. Three types. Okay, arteries, veins, and capillaries. There are numerous veins, there are numerous capillaries, numerous arteries. Okay, that is what I was telling. But there are three types of blood vessels. Those are arteries, veins, and capillaries. Okay, is it clear? Three types of blood vessels. Okay, so uh, so blood. You might these things might have included before. Okay, anyways, do you know the type of tissues? What are the type of tissues? Okay, before that, the cells. Cell, all of you know cell. So different cells they will combine and they will form numerous cells will combine and form tissue. Okay, tissue is nothing but a group of cells. Okay, what is tissue? Tissue is a group of cells. Okay, so there will be different for example different many like many people they will form a family, right? One person cannot form a family, so many people together will form a family or a village. Okay, so same way many cells they will together form tissue. Okay, so there are different types of tissue and this tissue will together form an organ. Okay, and that organ, many organs will together form organ system, and different organ system will form organism. So there are level of organization. I don't know whether you have got it or not. I guess you have got all those in your school only. The level 5 level of organization. That is cells, tissue, that organ system, and organism. Okay, organism means human being or is an organism or animal, all those animals or plants, whatever it is. Okay, so tissues, we'll look at tissues now. So there are different types of tissues. So can you name some type of tissues?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. What are those?
Connective
Connective tissue, yes.
tissue,
Connective tissue,
Then
connective
muscle,
tissue,
muscular tissue and
muscle tissue, and
epithelial tissue,
epithelial
epithelial
tissue. Yes.
maybe.
Yes, yes, epithelial tissue.
tissue,
And what more?
Nervous tissue.
Nervous tissue. There are four types of tissues. Okay, epithelial tissues, muscular tissue, connective tissue, and nervous tissue. Okay, epithelial tissues are the what are the epithelial tissues? What is the epithelial tissues? Epithelial, I'll just give a brief. Okay, this is not required in this chapter. I'll just give a brief. So epithelial tissues, they cover all the body surfaces, like your skin, your the surfaces of the, what to say, linings of your body, the internal, those like inside your mouth, the linings, all those. That is squamous. Anyways, that is epithelial tissues. Okay, all those are epithelial tissues. And next is muscular tissue. Muscular tissue are the muscles. Muscles, muscles, all of you know, muscles are muscular tissues. Then we'll get to connective tissue, but before that, nervous tissue. What is nervous tissue? Nervous tissue is the nerve cells. Okay, nervous tissue is comprised of the nerve cells. Nerve cells in the brain. All of you know nerve cells in the brain. Also, so those nervous tissue means the nerve cells. Okay, nervous tissue comprises of the nerve cells. And the connective tissue, blood is a type of connective tissue. Okay, why it is known as connective tissue? Because it connects, right? It keeps connected from the finger toe to your like head. Everywhere blood it flows. Okay, that's why it is known as connective tissue. It is a matrix that is expanded all over the body. So that is known as connective tissue. So blood is a type of connective tissue. Okay, don't think tissue needs to be something that is firm and solid and like that. Don't make that assumption. Okay, so many people many students that they make that assumption like tissue which needs to be like solid and like stiff. Okay, so blood cannot be a tissue, but blood is a tissue and it is connective tissue. Also, it is known as, sometimes it is known as liquid connective tissue. Since blood is liquid, it is known as liquid connective tissue. Okay. Hmm. Okay. For bones are there, right? So bone is also a type of connective tissue. Bones, all of you know, the skeleton. The bones are also a type of connective tissue. Then cartilage are there. What are cartilage? What are cartilage? Can you name a place where there is cartilage? So cartilage, okay, let me see. Okay, if you have eaten chicken, have you seen something like a white portion which is hard, but not as hard as bone, but not as soft as the muscles? So you have seen that portion, right? That white portion which is not
Yes,
so hard
ma'am.
like the, yes, that portion is known as cartilage. So your like ear is made of cartilage. Ear you can bend it. Bones you cannot bend. You cannot bend your hand, right? You can only bend at the joints, but you cannot bend your like in the your arms. You cannot bend. Only in the joints you can bend because they are bone and they are stiff. They are tight. Okay, they are closely packed. But the cartilage, they are a little bit soft and like your ear. Ear is stiff. It is not like a like it is not whole. Everything is not muscle. Okay, if it is muscle, it won't stand straight. Okay, but it is little bit soft, so that is cartilage is present. Okay, so cartilage is also a type of connective tissue. Bone is also a type of connective tissue. Blood is also a type of connective tissue. Blood is generally known as liquid connective tissue since it is liquid. Okay, anyway, so blood is a connective tissue. Okay, and it consists of fluid matrix, that is also known as the plasma. Fluid matrix is also known as the plasma, and the formed elements. Formed elements mean the cells, blood cells. Okay, formed elements means the blood cells, and plasma is the, when you if you have seen patients in the like, or if you have seen or heard of patients uh, in the hospitals, some patients are needed to give plasma. Okay, some patients needs plasma, like I guess in the case of dengue earlier, the disease that was so widespread, no one, like 3-4 years back. Many people died and all those. So those dengue patients, they were they like they had to give plasma. Okay, now also the COVID, those patients who are survival of COVID-19, they are asked to give plasma, right? So plasma is the liquid part of the blood which does not contain any cells, okay, any formed elements, which means cells. How many types of cells, blood cells are there? There are three types of blood cells. That is red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. Okay, what is the time? I guess it will end. Okay, we will not continue because this will end and I will not be able to take your attendance. Okay, everyone just give your attendance. You have given, I guess. Hmm. Okay, I'll take the attendance because it will end and I will not be able to take the attendance. Okay, uh, so plasma is a liquid part of the blood. Okay, and there are blood cells that we will continue next class. But there are blood cells, there are three types of blood cells. Those are red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. We'll discuss in details about each blood cells. Okay, about each one, each blood cell, what are those, and what is the structure of those blood cells, and what is it, and what is the plasma is generally the liquid part of the blood cells. They will not be liquid. Cells are not liquid, right? But the blood is liquid. How is it liquid? Because of the presence of the uh, plasma, that is the liquid part. Plasma is generally the color of, okay, okay, plasma is generally orange kind of color. Okay, it is a little bit orange, and orange means it is a little bit brown orange kind of color. Okay, whenever you join the class, you make the habit of giving the attendance as soon as you join the class. But once it happened earlier, that meeting it ended and I could not take the attendance. Anyways, okay, we will continue this portion in the next class. Okay, if you have any doubts from the heart and everything, that part, you can ask the next class. Okay, thank you.